In this lesson, we're going to look at the expanded form of the equation of a circle. This is also given in an exam, so we don't have to memorise it, we just have to know how to use it. This is the general form here, but this can be expanded to form this equation at the bottom. And we're also given this information: the centre point is negative g, negative f, and the radius is square root of g squared plus f squared take away c. All this information is given in the formula sheet, along with this top formula. A wee note that it only represents a circle if this value is greater than 0. If this was less than 0, you'd be square root of a negative, and you cannot square root a negative. So that's a way to find out if an equation is the equation of a circle. Use this formula and see if it comes out as a positive value. If it does, you have a circle equation. If it doesn't, you don't. So first example, find the radius in the centre of the circle with this equation here. So you would go to your formula sheet, you would write down the expanded form, because this here is an expanded form. You compare coefficients of x, so 2g is the same as the 4, and 2f is the same as the negative 8, be careful with the negative 8, and the c part is the 7, so write that down. We need to work out g, so that's 2, and f, negative 4. And from the formula sheet, the centre point was negative g, negative f. So that becomes negative 2, and that becomes plus 4. And you have your centre. Use your formula sheet to work out the radius. The square root of g squared plus f squared take away c. So there's your values here, here, and here. So substitute them in. 4 plus 16 take away 7, and that comes to the square root of 13, or root 13. In this example, it says, explain why the equation below is not of a circle. So the same process, using the general equation, we compare coefficients. So 2g is 4, 2f is negative 8, and c is 32. So write those down. G is 2 again, f's negative 4, centre point is negative 2, 4. Let's work out g squared plus f squared minus c. If this is greater than 0, then you can square root it, that's fine. But if it's less than 0, we can't, therefore it's not a circle. So substitute your numbers in, 2, negative 4 and 32. 4 plus 16 is 20. If you take away 32, you get to negative 12. So since negative 12 is less than 0, that's not the equation of a circle. So all this says is, since g squared plus f squared take away c is not greater than, that's a not greater than sign, 0, the equation does not represent a circle. Now just a final point here on circles. Sometimes it's easier to draw the circle out if you're asked particular questions. For example, this here says find the equation of a circle with a centre point which has the y-axis as a tangent. So the y-axis basically touches it at one point. So sketch that out. Negative 5, 4, and from the sketch you can see that we're going back 5 places and up 4. So therefore you can get the radius. It's back 5 places. So if you're asked for the equation of that, you can write you've got your centre point and then you've got your radius, and you can go ahead and do that. Same idea with this. Sketch a circle with centre negative 4, 2 and radius 4. And then it says at the bottom, could we work out the length AB? So it says sketch that out, plot the point 5, 2 and draw a tangent to meet the circle at B. So sketch that out, and then it's saying, could we work out the length of AB, this length here? Well, from the sketch, what I would do is I would try and draw a wee right angle triangle in there, from here and along. And then because we know the radius is 4, that's 4. And then we can work out this length here, which is 9 all the way across, because it goes from 5 to -4. We can do a bit of Pythagoras. The tangent meets a radius at 90 degrees. So a bit of Pythagoras, 9 squared take away 4 squared would get AB.